YouTube has only one Smores Indoors.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to S'mores Indoors and the Midnight Files. Tonight, our topic is, I guess, my favorite cryptid. I know a lot of people are big fans of Bigfoot, but mine has always been the Mothman. I just like the story surrounding it. So, we're going to talk about the Mothman tonight, and I am not doing it alone. Tonight with me is Flesh Wound Dan. What's up, Dan?
What's up, Corey? How's it going?
It's going well. How are you tonight?
Doing well. Busy day. I was out hitting some antique shops and found a Theater of Blood one sheet, which was pretty unexpected. Cool. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do much. I stayed around the house. I tried to I was gonna try to be constructive around the house, but I could just kind of sit around and ate pizza and watch TV. So sometimes you need days like that. So
yeah, I've got a big trip coming up, and I've been I like kind of having the house perfect before a trip, because I don't know, there's something about coming back and then it's just a damn mess, and you don't want to come home jet lagged and then it's like, crap, I gotta work.
For sure.
So yeah, I've been somewhat productive. I've been selling some old shit and trying not to just make way for new shit. So
I've actually been doing the same. I've kind of and I'll probably get into this more on Monday. Just some things going on with me and some changes I want to make. Nothing. It's health stuff, but it's not like life-threatening health stuff. But it's also made me think about future health stuff, if that makes sense. I'm going to get into that a little on Monday and talk about some changes I kind of want to make with, like, I'm climbing over shit in this room, so I need to prioritize things, and you know what I mean. So
yeah, it's always good to nip things in the bud before they, get out of hand. So then that feels good. Make a little bit of cash and make a little space, because space is in short supply.
It definitely is. So
it's more like I said, it's more like a convention hall than a house. So
time and space are my two biggest commodities, and they're slipping away. So I feel like, anyway. So
yeah. I keep thinking, like, should I put some of the 8x10s in a binder and then make more wall space to sort of get at least some of the shelves out from the middle, because it's like you're walking down rows. So I'm like, I don't know. I still kind of like them displayed, but it's just me. And
that's kind of the way I feel now. Like, I've got all these shelves built, with movies on them, and I'm like, nobody's seeing this shit but me. Like, what's the point? So I did start putting DVDs in those sleeves, and I have them in like a box that I can flip through. And
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I'll be honest, that would bug me. But I feel like I could at least maybe start putting some 8x10s in albums.
Yeah, you could kind of organize them too that way. So
yeah, I'm taking baby steps to becoming an adult at the young age of 40.
That's right.
So trying.
I know you said what's up to him, but Greg, what's going on tonight? How are you?
What's up, Greg?
So we've got a new little format to the show now. I've kind of changed things up a little bit. So we're going to have a little news roundup, paranormal news roundup, before we actually start the main topic. And I got tonight we're going to talk a little bit about UFOs, Bigfoot DNA, Nessie, possible ghosts, and all kinds of good stuff in the news. So before we get started with the news, this is going to not be the greatest transition because I don't have StreamYard. I don't pay for StreamYard. If I eventually do that down the road, this will go a lot smoother. But I got a little news intro, breaking news intro. So let's let's roll that real quick, and I think you'll get a kick out of this, Dan. Where is it? There we go.
Breaking news.
It'll go much better when I have.
That is awesome, though.
Pretty.
Steve is a YouTube legend. So
He is a YouTube legend. If you're not a watcher of Agenda Free TV, check out Steve over there. So I had to put him in there.
I always put him over because, like, if you just want to kind of get an idea of what's going on in the news and you don't want, like, the opinion side of it, he's a pretty good one to just flip on. If it's, like, war-related or something like that, he usually has really good coverage. So,
yeah, for sure. And what's up, Swaggy G?
Hey, Swaggy, what's up?
Thanks for being here. So let's go through the news. First up, we have more UFO files from the Pentagon. The biggest story this week comes from the Pentagon. On August 7th, another collection of previously classified historical material involving unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, was released. This is now the 5th such release. The material reportedly includes cases involving sightings over Colorado, the Pacific Ocean, and the Middle East, along with illustrations created from witness descriptions in older cases. And once again, we find ourselves in the strange situation where the government is essentially saying, yes, military personnel have seen things they couldn't immediately identify. And then everybody ultimately asks, so what were they? And the answer is, anyway, here are 400 more pages. So there's an important distinction here, though, obviously. An unidentified object is not automatically an alien spacecraft. It might be a drone, a balloon. It might be classified military technology. It might be something mundane that simply couldn't be identified under the conditions in which it was observed. But after decades of UFO reports, testimony from military pilots, and continued government investigations, there does seem to be one thing we can say with some confidence. There are things being observed in restricted airspace that sometimes remain unexplained. And that's interesting, regardless of what you believe is behind them. So I wanted to ask you, Dan, do you think these government UFO releases make you think we're slowly moving towards some kind of genuine disclosure? Or are we basically being handed an enormous collection of mysteries without ever getting to the important answers? And what would the government actually have to reveal before you personally said, okay, something non-human is happening here?
I think this, I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's always, could they just be lying or for some other purpose that obviously would suit them? I'm just kind of waiting for just a very direct answer. Yes, there is life outside our planet, and we have it. We have proof. We have bodies, biologics, whatever you want to call it. Like, we know that there's intelligent life out there, and yeah, and beyond that, I don't feel. See, I think one of the big issues, I do believe they know this, but I tend to lean more towards they know more than you or me, obviously.
Sure.
But they might just not really have any clear answers themselves.
Yeah.
And for some people, the unknown is the most terrifying thing of all. So how do they just say it and then the follow-up be, well, we really have no idea
Right.
what their purpose is, what their story is. I believe we have probably reverse engineered certain things.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably other things that maybe, even after damn near a century, we still can't reverse engineer.
Yeah.
But I am 100% believer that there's alien life out there, and there are people in the government, or if not the government, the shadow government, whatever you want to call it, the people that are really in charge, because I believe we just see the the figureheads for the theater
Sure.
for us nowadays. Everything kind of feels fake now. I question everything, and that's not necessarily all entirely good or entirely bad. I don't necessarily believe everything that I see with my two eyes anymore on the news, for sure.
Yeah, it's a weird time for sure. But yeah. Well, while America is releasing documents, Australia is apparently has something strange happening in the night sky now. Uh, Residents around Meander Valley in Tasmania have reportedly been seeing mysterious lights around an area known as Mother Cummings Peak. These sightings apparently started in early July and have happened enough times that local mayor Wayne Johnston has publicly asked if anyone can explain what people are seeing. And according to reports, these aren't necessarily tiny lights somebody glimpsed for 3 seconds. Some witnesses claim the objects have remained visible for extended periods and could allegedly be being seen from distances of 20 to 30 kilometers. Now, to the mayor's credit, he isn't immediately saying aliens have landed and have selected Tasmania. He's asking whether there's some conventional explanation: aircraft, drones, military activity, atmospheric phenomena, something. But multiple people continuing to report unusual lights in roughly the same area is exactly the kind of thing that keeps UFO stories alive. Because one person sees something strange, maybe they were mistaken. 10 people repeatedly seeing something strange, now you at least want to know what everybody is looking at. When multiple witnesses repeatedly report unusual objects in the same location, how much stronger does that make a UFO case for you, Dan?
It can depend. The rapid fire reports where they all kind of line up obviously gives it a little more credence. It's hard to say. I mean, you can have aerial phenomenon that they could honestly just be a test of new tech. There's all that New Jersey stuff that the drones in the sky and everything. I think we're in a time right now where the superpowers are all working on plans that may not be the long future now to sort of consolidate, take power. I think we're seeing signs of that with the, us, Russia, China, probably going into Taiwan anytime now. So I think there probably is a lot of testing of different things.
Yeah, I'm sure the Australian government's no different than us. There's things they don't disclose to the public, so
they got issues with China too. I mean, maybe the aliens are just big Looney Tunes fans and looking for. That's a bad joke. You got to throw out a dad joke.
Where's Jordan?
Been dirty lately, so I feel like I got to have a more wholesome joke once in a while.
All right. Well, have you heard that Bigfoot has gotten himself involved in a legal dispute? Have you heard this news, Dan?
I have not.
All right. Well, let's go into it.
It's Miss Bigfoot trying to take his house.
Bigfoot researcher Charles Snake Stewart has claimed that an alleged Sasquatch body discovered in the Adirondacks was subjected to DNA testing. And according to Stewart, those results supposedly showed that the creature was some kind of Neanderthal human hybrid, which would obviously be one of the biggest scientific discoveries in human history. There is, however, one tiny complication. Cornell University says it didn't do the testing. Cornell has disputed the documents attributed to the university and said the alleged test results did not come from them. So you would think it might be the end of the story, but it's not. Because this week reports emerged that Stewart is now threatening Cornell with a $10 million lawsuit over their denial. We have officially reached a point where Bigfoot may require legal representation. But underneath the absurdity is actually a pretty important issue with the cryptid evidence. Because if somebody really had a Sasquatch body, that debate should theoretically end tomorrow. You wouldn't need a blurry trail camera photographs anymore. You wouldn't need footprints. You wouldn't need somebody telling you about the enormous hairy creature they saw crossing Route 12 in 1987. You have a body. You get independent universities to test it. You publish the genome. You let researchers examine the remains. And that would be it. So I pose a question to you, Dan. If somebody truly possessed the body of an unknown human-like species, what evidence would you need before believing it?
It's so hard because there's a lot of people you just don't trust in the government. I don't know that the government would have much of a reason to cover up a Bigfoot or Bigfoot-like creature.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, and I've said this for a while, it wouldn't shock me at all if such a creature existed. I mean, you go back, dinosaurs existed, Bigfoot-like creatures, existed. Bigfoot, I just feel I can't see them going around right now and still existing without just being discovered with modern tech now and how the world's getting a lot smaller. It's just, I can't in my head imagine that they could still exist out there without being found. Now, I don't know, when they say body, is this like a fresh body? Is this like just bones, or like...
That's the question. If DNA testing was done on it, where is it? Right. So
yeah, I mean, now you can file a lawsuit for anything, so
sure
they could be throwing that out just because. I mean, I can sue somebody because I don't like their shirt,
right?
It's probably not going to go anywhere, but I can file the lawsuit. So I don't know. I just have a hard time. Where there's one, there would almost certainly have to be more, and I just can't come up with an explanation why that hasn't been definitively discovered now, with everybody having cameras on their phone. In the sky is a different story. In the woods, somebody, I think, would have captured undeniable proof. Probably would have captured one of them, just period.
Yeah, there's a lot of hunters, so
yeah,
surely
exactly.
someone would have shot one.
So. And honestly, if I was in that position, I'm not a hunter, but if I was in that position, I feel like the first thing I would do is go live, give my name. This is who I am. I have this. And if anybody tries to say otherwise, here it fucking is. Like, I will send that video out to everybody. Like, just make it as public as humanly possible. I would want like the media outside my place so that there's no Men in Black coming to cover some shit up.
Yep. So we'll keep eyes on that story and hopefully have some more details in another episode. So, all right. So there's been more Nessie sightings. 2 additional sightings have recently been added to the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. One came from longtime Loch Ness webcam watcher Ewan Fatahagen, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who reported seeing an unusual object emerge from the water on July 9th. Now Loch Ness has accumulated more than 1,000 reported sightings over the decades. And I think Nessie is fascinating because it may be the perfect example of a paranormal legend becoming almost impossible to separate from the environment itself. You've got waves, boat wakes, logs, large fish, birds, deer swimming across the loch, lighting conditions, distance, and now webcams where people can stare at the water from thousands of miles away looking for anything unusual. But every once in a while, somebody sees something that keeps the legend alive. At this point, do you think people at Loch Ness are actually seeing an unknown animal, or has the legend become so powerful that ordinary things on the water are automatically interpreted as Nessie?
There's a lot of things you could interpret as Nessie. I mean, the ocean is certainly, and there's all kinds of crazy possibilities of creatures, life that we haven't discovered there. We discover new species all the time in the ocean, but I don't know about Nessie. I mean, that's another case. Who knows? Maybe there was such a creature at one point. I've never been to Scotland. I've never been like on the ground, but from what I understand, I just don't really see. Again, why is there not definitive proof?
Sure.
At this point, so I don't know.
I'd like to go there. I think it'd be an interesting place to visit.
I agree.
A lot of history. So, all right, but finally we'll end with something creepy. A driver near Vinces, Ecuador, says he was making a delivery to a banana plantation when he encountered what appeared to be a woman standing along the road. He photographed the figure, and the resulting image is now being circulated as a possible photograph of an apparition. Now, obviously, photographs like this are almost impossible to evaluate without knowing exactly what happened before and after the picture was taken. It could be a person, it could be lighting, could be an image, could be image processing, could be something staged. Or if you're feeling adventurous tonight, maybe you photograph somebody who wasn't supposed to be there. This brings up something I've thought a lot about. There are now billions of cameras in the world. Almost everybody has one in their pocket. There's doorbell cameras, security cameras, trail cameras, dash cameras, phones. If ghosts physically appear in our environment, you would think we should be entering the golden age of ghost photography. Instead, we are still arguing over blurry figures standing beside roads. And I actually have the picture here I'm going to bring up. Maybe hard to see. She's back there in the back.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, just straight off the bat, that really looks like probably, well, not necessarily a woman, but somebody in an evening gown.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't, I mean, somebody shows me that, I'm like, oh, creepy, I guess. It's far enough away. It could be a Halloween ghost prop that somebody hung from a tree. It's just very, I don't know. I actually feel like if I saw something, I would be inclined to run towards it, which might sound weird. It's not that I'm particularly brave, but I'm going to just get closer and kind of see what it does.
Sure.
Maybe
the last thing you do, but who knows?
Might be the last thing I do, but just to get I don't know, get a feel, get a little closer, maybe try and communicate. But I don't know, that photo to me it just doesn't really prove or show anything to me.
Do you think that modern technology has actually made photographic ghost evidence less convincing?
I think it has. I really feel like I believe, again, not to rehash the whole thing, but like we're energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It goes somewhere. I don't think that there's any visual component to it. At least for us. I mean, there are people that think animals maybe a little more in tune to something, but I don't think it's anything that could be photographed at all.
Sure.
I really don't, because again, I cannot explain why it's always just some blurry thing that we're, I mean, I don't want to accuse anybody of lying. They may very well believe that they saw a ghost, but no. Right. I think they're real, but I think it's more a feeling, just an energy in the air, not something we can touch. They can't really touch us, but maybe they can affect us on a chemical level. I don't know.
Sure.
I think they're on their own plane.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can be in the right frame of mind too, where your mind will play tricks on you too. So
don't get me wrong, I will 100% try and suck on Barbara Hershey's titties if I become a ghost, but I don't think I can.
You gotta have goals, I guess, in the afterlife too. So
you have to have goals. Yeah. I'll just be perv Beetlejuice when I
Right.
die.
All right. Well, before we go into the Mothman, I do want to take a second tonight to mention Dubby, which is a new partner to the channel. Let's bring up the little info here. Whether you're staying up researching UFO sightings, digging through old paranormal reports, watching one more video or two in the morning, or trying to figure out why every unexplained encounter apparently happens after midnight, sometimes you need a little extra fuel. That's where Dubby comes in. Head over to dubby.gg and check out what they've got. And if you decide to grab something, use our promo code Smores Indoors at checkout. Again, that's dubby.gg and use code Smores Indoors. Using our code helps support Midnight Files and the channel so we can keep digging into the strange, the unexplained, and the stories that keep us looking over our shoulder after the lights go out. So head to dubby.gg, use code S'mores Indoors, and let's open the next file. So
Nice.
Get rid of Dubby there, and we're going to talk about the Mothman now. So imagine you're driving down a lonely road just outside a small town. It's after midnight. There's nothing around except abandoned military buildings and old woods. Then your headlights catch something standing beside the road. It's over 6 feet tall, gray, humanoid. Its eyes glow bright red. Before you can process what you're seeing, it spreads enormous wings, takes off, and keeps pace with your car at nearly 100 miles an hour. That sounds like a horror movie, but 4 young adults insisted it really happened, and they weren't the last. Tonight, we're opening the file on the Mothman. Well, every week here on the show, we take one famous mystery and ask a simple question: what's the best explanation? Tonight's question is, was Mothman a monster, or was it trying to warn people? Before we get on the story, I want to know where you stand, Dan. When someone says Mothman, what's the first thing that pops in your head? The movie, cryptid, urban legend? What do you know about it? What's kind of what pops in your head when you think about the Mothman?
Well, definitely Point Pleasant.
Sure.
I have been there. I wish I could have spent more time. And it is one of the more interesting stories. I do think if you asked me which one would you want to see, let's just say they're all real, I think Mothman would be really interesting.
Yeah.
There's just something very cool about it, and I might have shown some of these the last time we talked cryptids, but I'm a reader. Shadow of the Mothman by Hunter Shea is a really good one. Incorporates some cryptid lore, little bit different, but Moth Woman by Nicole Cushing, kind of an interesting one. But it was 1967, I believe, and I lived in West Virginia for about a decade. So,
how close were you to Point Pleasant when you lived there?
I wish I could tell you exactly. I was in Martinsburg, West Virginia. So somebody could probably tell me.
I'll do a quick look here.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of considered the DC area, although it was a trek to DC.
Sure.
What's up, Connected?
How are you Connected doing? How are you doing? Let's see. Point Pleasant.
I've traveled a lot in my lifetime, so sometimes like the geography I just can't remember.
That's quite a ways. You were over 5 hours away from it, so
that sounds because it was like a day trip, so that kind of sounds about right.
Point Pleasant, your hometown, Ghost? Are you the Mothman?
No, Ghost is Martinsburg.
Martinsburg, okay.
No, I've lived a couple of the same places as Ghost.
Yeah.
And what up, Ghost?
Yeah. So let's go into the basic story here. It's in late 1966, the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, suddenly became ground zero for one of America's strangest mysteries. Over a period of about 13 months, dozens of people claim they saw the same thing. A winged humanoid, 7 feet tall, glowing red eyes, almost always seen at night. Many sightings happened near an abandoned TNT plant left over from World War II. Some witnesses thought it was an animal. Others believed it was something paranormal. And after one terrible disaster, the legend changed forever. But we'll get there. But first, let's start with the sighting that made national headlines. Um, so, Dan, if someone told you they saw a 7-foot winged creature tonight, what would it take for you to believe them? Would it be multiple witnesses, pictures, video, or would you assume there had to be some other explanation?
I would take it in good faith to a degree, but I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, you still kind of have to prove it. Because I mean, and again, they may not have seen that and they believe they did. So it's a tough one. I don't know what I would do if I saw something like that spectacular and very, very far from human. I don't know how I would go about it. Because you start talking about that and you can become Whitley Strieber really quick.
Yeah.
And he was, I mean, for some he still is, very respected guy, but once you start sharing that kind of story, some people are just going to think that you had some sort of nervous breakdown or
Sure.
there's some sort of something medically wrong with you. It's fascinating. I mean, I look at some of the imagery for Mothman, and I don't think he would be less accepted than a Bigfoot, because I think we can still see ourselves in Bigfoot.
Yeah.
A Mothman, I mean, I don't know. Nobody's gonna really want to cuddle with that.
No.
I don't.
No.
You can build.
They didn't make the Harry and the Hendersons Mothman movie, so.
No, exactly. Although there still manages to be a lot of Mothman erotica out there too.
I believe it. There's erotica about everything. So let's go into the first case file here, the Scarberry and Millette encounter. So the date was November 15th, 1966. Two couples are driving through the old TNT area outside Point Pleasant. Roger and Linda Scarberry, Steve and Mary Millette. As they pass one of the abandoned buildings, they see something standing near a generator. At first, they think it's a man. Then it moves. They describe a gray creature with folded wings and glowing red eyes. As they speed away, the creature reportedly lifts off and begins following the car. The witnesses later claimed it kept up with them at speeds approaching 100 miles an hour before disappearing. The next day, their story is in the newspaper. Now, that's already strange, but here's what interests me. There were 4 witnesses, not 1, not 2, 4 people all describing essentially the same thing. What's the first thing that stands out to you about the story, Dan? And does having the 4 witnesses, does that automatically make it more believable?
I mean, I would do some detective work, like who knew each other.
Sure.
Who was there any reason that they would want to concoct a story like that? I mean, sometimes the only reason is just attention.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I don't know what a Mothman, if you're in the sky, if you fly, it just kind of feels like, again, somebody would catch Mothman prophecy. We'll probably get to that.
Yeah.
Supposedly it was Stallone that made up that rumor about Richard Gere. They did not like each other, and there was like an issue on a movie they ended up not making together. So the origins of the gerbil up Richard Gere's ass supposedly stem from Sylvester Stallone. Hell of a rumor. Very specific to make up about someone.
Another reason for Jess Graham to hate him. So
that's true.
What kind of natural explanation would you investigate first if you heard this story?
I don't know what angle I could even take on something like that. I'd want to like talk to get all the physical details and maybe talk to like a scientist. Like, okay, what would the mechanics mechanics of this be? 7 foot tall. How likely would it be that it could fly?
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot more insight they could give to something like that. I don't know. It was also the 60s too, so let's be real. You didn't have the cameras on your phones.
Right.
And so
it seems a weird story to make up. Like, where does it come from? You know what I mean? Like, who's thinking of a man bird type thing to just make up, out in the middle of nowhere? But
yeah, exactly.
Um,
My dad, and I knew other people that worked at Hanford, where they built the nuclear bomb.
Mhm.
And a lot of people out on the site, a lot of different engineers and stuff, have said, like, you see weird shit, like bugs that are like 5 times bigger than they should be.
Sure.
Like, that's a real thing. I've heard some really wild stories about Hanford, and I don't know, is it possible? I suppose so. I don't know what kind of mutation something could go through, genetic anomaly. That's a thing. I always tell people, watch this show Fringe. It
Yeah.
has some interesting kind of medical type episodes.
Well, after the newspaper publishes the story, reports begin pouring in. People claim they see the creature flying over the roads, standing in fields, watching houses. Some report hearing strange sounds. Others say they felt overwhelming fear before they ever saw anything. Then things get stranger. Some witnesses begin reporting visits from mysterious men asking unusual questions. Today, they're often called the Men in Black. Were these government agents, curious reporters, or did the story simply grow as more people paid attention? Do you think the publicity makes people notice things they would have ignored before? And what do you make of the Men in Black stories?
Well, the Men in Black, I think that's absolutely real. That's just government people looking to, maybe they want to silence somebody, maybe they want to scare somebody, send a message. That's certainly real. I wonder if there's a possibility that some of this could be like an LSD sort of thing, where they're looking to see, like, can we create this sort of mass hysteria in a region, dose a couple people, plant something in their head, and just let it go wild.
Could be putting something in the water supply to,
entirely possible. I wouldn't put that past governments to do something like that. At the end of the day, it's all about control, right? That's what they want. They want to control everything. And I don't know. I know that's a less fantastical and more depressing explanation, but I kind of wonder in some cases if that could be it. Once Mothman's out in the world, it's in our collective conscious, so it becomes harder and harder to really believe anything, because again, somebody could have some sort of mental problem and just hallucinate something. So,
and it becomes a game of like telephone. It's like someone said this and it got passed down and
story changes.
Yeah. What's up, Deku? I guess that's how you pronounce that.
Hey, Deku, what's up?
So let's look at the evidence locker here. One description appears over and over again. Not feathers, not fur. Witnesses frequently described smooth gray skin, broad wings, and glowing red eyes. Some even said the creature didn't flap its wings much. It seemed to glide. Now, eyewitness testimony is powerful, but it's also imperfect. People remember terrifying moments differently, especially at night. Would dozens of eyewitnesses convince you, or would you still need physical evidence, you think?
I think I'd still need some kind of physical evidence. I mean, again, that was a time period where a photo would not be as likely, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a scenario if Mothman just starts flying around New York City or something, that might be like, okay, thousands of us saw that, so something's going on.
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's a big difference between 4 and dozens.
Yeah. Let's run through the biggest explanations. These are the theories. Theory 1, it's a giant owl or sandhill crane. Theory 2, just an unknown animal. Theory 3, a paranormal entity. Theory 4, not a monster at all, but a warning. Because 1 month after the sightings began, the Silver Bridge collapsed, killing 46 people. Many people later wondered, was Mothman trying to warn the town, or did people connect the two events only after the tragedy? Which of those theories makes, if you had to pick those, which makes most sense to you?
I don't know how just flying around, if that's like if it's a warning, it's intelligent. Couldn't it come up with a better way to sort of just flying around scaring the shit out of people? How does that lead you to like, hey, check this bridge? The structural integrity is not good.
Right.
So I don't know. I think if it, assuming it were real, it's some form of life, and who knows? There may not be any point to it. It just somehow ended up in the same area that you were occupying.
Right.
I don't know.
Does the bridge collapse, you think that strengthens the legend, or is it just simply a tragic coincidence?
I think coincidence. You can definitely play that game where, I don't know, say 9/11, and then you could just start making random connections. Like, this guy's made some doomsday prediction or something on this date, and it's very easy to muddy the waters with that too. Just the doomsdayers in general. It's like, well, you made like 500 predictions, and yes, okay, on this day something bad happened. It's like, I don't know, when you really go to poke holes and shit like that, I'm like, there's no connection at all. People die every day. There's natural disasters every day.
I think the human mind wants to make those connections too. It just, if the bridge had never collapsed, do you think we'd still be talking about Mothman today? Because I don't think anybody died prior to that.
I think so. I mean, obviously people saw something.
Right.
Just who the hell knows? Again, it's hard to really. I've seen cranes and everything. It'd be hard to get to Mothman from that. I mean, Bigfoot's a little bit easier to explain because 100% black bears, you can see videos of them walking on their hind legs.
Sure.
You're in the woods and lighting's not good. Sure, that might be fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Might as well be, 30 feet from me or whatever. It is very specific, so it sounds like either they did see it, or they just made it up, or I really think the LSD thing is entirely possible.
All right, well, we're going to do a new segment here. It's called Buy It or BS. So I'm going to give you a statement, and you tell me if you buy it or if it's BS. So first one, Mothman was a real creature.
Could be. I'm going to say BS until it is proven.
Okay. The witnesses genuinely believed what they saw. You think that was, you buy that, or is that BS?
I mean, it's the 60s. We certainly have creature features, it's possible that a bunch of people got together and concocted a story. I'd have to dig a little deeper, but I will say, somebody tells you something, I'll believe it until I can prove otherwise. I'll take it that they believe it at least.
All right. How about the bridge collapse permanently changed the legend? You buy that, or is that BS?
It probably affected it.
I
don't
think
think it had
probably,
anything
especially
to
if you
do.
lived in the town then.
Yeah,
You were affected with someone that died or something,
sure. Yeah. Small town, 60s.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that.
Last one. You would spend the night in the TNT area. Yes or no? Basically.
Yeah, I would.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah, preferably not alone.
Yeah.
I would.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the final verdict here. Let's close the file. 3 questions. First, what's your favorite explanation?
Oh, favorite. Well, my favorite would be that it's all completely legit. They did see it, and Mothman lives.
Yeah. Second, do you think the witnesses really saw something?
I'd give the benefit of the doubt and say that they think they saw something.
Okay. And on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, how mysterious is the Mothman case today?
Oh, today I'd have to get a little bit more up to date on any kind of recent sightings, but 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something that came up about it a few years ago. I can't remember the details on that. I probably should have looked that up, but
I mean, you can find random stuff on the internet, people saying they saw him, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have this in my notes. I'm about to close the file on the Mothman here, but I did want to mention I'm a fan of the Mothman Prophecy movie. Are you a fan of that movie, Dan?
I like Mothman Prophecies a lot. In fact, I think it kind of deserves a new edition. And
yeah.
I
was looking back here. I have a documentary called Eyes of the Mothman. I was going to show. I don't see it here, but that's a documentary. And you had the books that you mentioned.
Yeah, there's also a movie called Mothman from 2010.
Okay.
So, kind of schlocky, but with Jewel State and directed by Sheldon Wilson, that you might have fun checking out. But not as many Mothman movies as you'd expect there to be. But
yeah. One thing I'll also mention, which I think is my favorite piece of media about Mothman, is the Unsolved Mysteries episode about Mothman back in the day.
I do remember that being very good. Yeah,
I'm sure it's maybe on YouTube. I'm sure there's a way you can find it though, but it's a really good one. It's creepy and it's well done. Of course, with Robert Stack narrating, it's all that stuff took it up a notch with him on there. But
much like Art Bell, it's kind of hard to replace Robert Stack. He was just perfect. And Drew, there probably is a Dustin Ferguson movie on Mothman. And I would only hope that Mothman would see that, be off just terribly offended, and go pay him a visit.
Staying with the Unsolved Mysteries, Dennis Farina did it for a while after Robert Stack, didn't he? I think.
Yes.
He just didn't have the. It's just something about Robert Stack. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Robert Stack could, in fact, be a man in black. He's just got that like government kind of. You didn't see this. You didn't see this, or you did. Here's some LSD. Man, that looked like a fucking moth flying through the air.
They stopped doing the Netflix Unsolved Mysteries, didn't they?
I think they did. Netflix has got a bad habit of just putting out something awesome and then it's like no more. You get no more.
I wish that had. I know, obviously, he's long gone, Robert Stack, but I wish there had been some narrator they'd used instead of just none. That was one pet peeve I had with that. But
Yeah.
Anyway, let's close the case here on the Mothman. Maybe Mothman was a misidentified bird. Maybe it was mass hysteria. Maybe it was an undiscovered animal. Or maybe, every once in a while, an entire town experiences something it can never fully explain. More than 50 years later, people still travel to Point Pleasant, hoping to catch a glimpse of glowing red eyes in the darkness. Maybe they're chasing a monster, or maybe they're chasing one of America's greatest mysteries. Till then, we'll leave that file open. So, that is Mothman. Hope everyone had a good time listening to us talk a little bit about Mothman and those other stories that we had in the news earlier. So,
and if you want to bang the Mothman, put your fantasies in the comments section. Help the channel grow.
Exactly. Yes. And check out our sponsor, W.GG. Use the code Smores Indoors and stay up all night watching Unsolved Mysteries. That'd be a good way to do it, I think. So, what do you guys got coming up on Flesh Moon, Dan?
We've got kind of an odd week. I think we might have a couple tape things dropping, and we should have a Jacko 2 review dropping. And I don't want to say because it's not 100% sure, but I think we have our tournament locked down for Halloween season, so we will have a tournament.
Nice.
And we're working hard at work on our last tournament on the left 2 event, Saturday, October 3rd. You can buy your tickets now at fleshwoundfeatures.com. They're starting to move pretty early this year.
Nice.
So you want to jump on that. It's the world of deathmatch wrestling meets your favorite horror movies. So we've got our most ambitious match steps yet for this. There's one I'm somewhat worried for the guys that they're going to try and pull off, and it's going to be gory.
Everyone check that out. And S'mores Indoors here tomorrow night. Bell Classics will be on exorcisms.
Oh, yeah.
And then Monday night we'll be doing Monday Night Live, where we'll talk a little bit about getting older and things like that. And then immediately following that, we'll have a members only Raw, where we're doing another porn star selection show. So,
ooh, I'm gonna have to get the details offline.
yes. So those are coming up here on the channel. Make sure you check out Flesh Wound Features as well. And until we see you Monday night, make sure you tune in for Bell Classics tomorrow night. But Monday night we'll be live again. And until then, take it easy.